So we're going to now move on to our next speaker, Nina Wilson. Dr. Nina Wilson is a GP and has been supporting us on the tech standards. Colleagues who came to the last Innovators event will have heard Nina and her colleague Rod Joyce talk. And over to you, Nina. Delighted to hear back from the consultation on tech standards.
Hi Lisa, and hello everyone, and thank you. Yep, just here to update you on where we've got to with the digital health technology standard work. Quick reminder, this work is around streamlining the NHS assurance process for digital health technologies so that the benefits can be brought to patients as quickly and efficiently as possible. And part of that streamlining is simplifying it where possible. Another part of it may be speeding it up, and another part of it is making it really transparent so that everybody knows what we're looking for and what we're trying to achieve with this. We have a programme of work on this, and part of it is setting out the standard and making that transparent. And then obviously the work that follows on from that is how we assess against that standard and how we link that up with procurement and so on. And those of you that attended the last event will remember that at the last event we launched the what we called then the Digital Health Tech Standard for consultation. And that was the document that set out the categories in which innovators would be expected to submit evidence to provide assurance that their product met the appropriate standards of safety and quality and data protection and so on for use within the NHS. And that document was put out for consultation just before the COVID lockdown. The good news is that through our engagement partners MedCity, we were able to continue with that consultation during lockdown, even though many of us were pulled onto other projects. So it was great. We managed to engage with lots of you, got lots and lots of valuable feedback, and we were able not to lose time, if you like, with this project, because although we had to do a lot of the consultation remotely, we were able to continue. And I'm really grateful for all the feedback that we've had on that original document. We had 1,573 comments, which I've been going through every single one of them. And what we're doing with that is we're incorporating all of that feedback into the next draft of the document, which is currently being drafted and is under.
Sorry, is the event finished? Okay, hello. I think we've lost Nina for a second there. So while she comes back, we're just going to take the opportunity to ask a few more questions. So there's quite a few questions on people wanting to link with NHSX and how we can best work together. And of course, we did get a phenomenal amount of offers during the COVID period, which we were delighted to receive. So I'm going to loop over to Tara for a second on the how to get involved and engage with NHSX, and then I've got a few more comments and tips about how we can get people engaged.
So I'm not sure, do we put up the email address at the end about the NHSX?
We certainly can, yes.
So we can do that. Put the contact email address if you'd like to get in touch, and someone will get back to you.
Right, okay. So just to add to Tara's comments, we've got a really live programme of innovation surgery. So if you do want to come and have a chat to us and either look at where you want to get more information about what's happening within the NHS, or more information about what is happening with your a programme of work or connections to people in health and social care, do contact us on that email address, and we can get you into our innovation surgeries, and we can support colleagues who want to receive more information or colleagues who want to discuss their programme of work in particular. We did have another question about virtual consultations in outpatients, so I'll just take this opportunity to answer that question. So the outpatient question Tara did say a little bit about how successful running virtual consultations were, and of course they are for a cohort of staff. We've been doing a large amount of work on looking at a range of options, from people having telephone calls, people having remote consultations where that's appropriate in primary and in secondary care, and where we can support patients in their own home and make sure that we use some of the fantastic devices and kit that people have been developing in their own homes, and use that to link to a digital platform and support shielded patients or patients who have been discharged from hospital on the COVID pathway. So we've really extended our work in this area, and we're expecting to see many more models of new devices and new digital platforms. And many colleagues will have seen and applied for the new procurement framework that we put out about a month ago, to capture all of these areas, that the outpatient tools, remote monitoring tools, and tools that measure pulse oximetry, for instance, and measure vital signs in people's homes. So, so those really important areas. So I think we've got Nina back now, so I'm going to conclude those questions and welcome Nina back.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
See you back.
I am back. So I hear you've been having some questions in the meantime, which is great. Yeah, so I was just saying that we had lots and lots of really valuable feedback, and as you can imagine, there were some common themes within that. There was consensus in the support for this document and the aims of the project to streamline this and really make it clear to SMEs and innovators what it is we're looking for, and to support them with that. And as well as some really useful pointers and challenges about what we were doing. So there were some quite clear calls for clarity in the document, and also for proportionality in any assessment process, so that it could be proportional to the complexity and the risk of the product, and also to the life cycle of the product in terms of its development. And that was particularly relevant to evaluation. So as I say, I've been taking all of those comments on board and reworking that into a second draft. It looks slightly different now, and what you will see when we publish it is it's been reworked into effectively a supplier's guide to what it is that we're looking for in the NHS, to really kind of try and open that up and make that clear and accessible to suppliers who may or may not have a healthcare background or come from this industry. And there will also be notes for commissioners as well, because we had some clear calls from commissioners for help and support in being able to work out what good looks like when it comes to a digital health technology. So so that's well underway now, and very shortly we'll be launching the next part of this whole process, which is to review how we assess products. And we want to again work with you very closely to get all of your input on how we can best do that, how we can do that most efficiently and effectively, so we don't duplicate work that you're already doing. You know, if you're having to CE mark your product, for example, what can we reuse, and what can we do to minimise any burden of this for innovators. So that's the next part, and look out for that. Really, that's kind of our next phase now that we're all fully focused on this, now that COVID is over. We'll be also creating means of supporting people to understand what they need to do. And we're working with the AAC on this. We're redeveloping the portal, by which what used to be the DAC portal, but we'll be redeveloping that again to try and capture as many of the things that you've asked for in this consultation as possible. We're also making sure that this fits in with the work that we're doing on artificial intelligence and validation of artificial intelligence, so that we can get more AI in the NHS, so that all of that links up, and Indra will be talking more about that later. So I think that is it for me in terms of the update, and if there are any questions, then I'd be very happy to take them.